Hello, Golden State Warriors fan. We're back with an exclusive video bringing you the latest updates. First of all, subscribe to the channel and like the video. It's crucial for you to stay informed with the news daily. Without further ado, let's get to the news. Alright guys, buckle up because this one is shaking the NBA world to its core, and especially the Bay Area. The Golden State Warriors are waking up to a nightmare they never saw coming. Jackson Davis, the young big man who is supposed to be part of their next generation, has just agreed to a 4-year deal with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Yeah, you heard me right, 4 years. This isn't some temporary stint, some little two-way experiment, or a short-term swap. This is a full-on commitment from a team that's building something special, and Jackson Davis just walked right into their plans. Now, let's rewind for a second. Just a few months ago, everyone in the Warriors camp was hyping him as the perfect piece for their future frontcourt. The guy was athletic, efficient, and understood the Warriors system better than most young players ever did. But somewhere between the trade rumors, the internal politics, and the weird roster shuffle, it seemed something cracked. And the Thunder? They were right there, waiting like a hawk, ready to swoop in the second Golden State hesitated. What looked like loyalty turned into a shocker overnight. And now, fans are left wondering if this is the beginning of the end for a once untouchable dynasty. And let's talk about the timing because, man, this couldn't have hit at a worse moment for Golden State. The Warriors are still trying to figure out what their identity is post-prime Steph Curry, while juggling Draymond's intensity, Klay's future, and a bench that's constantly being reshuffled. Jackson Davis was supposed to be the bridge, the connection between the old guard and the new wave. The guy had hustle, charisma, and that spark that felt like vintage Warriors basketball. But apparently, the front office didn't see it the same way. Maybe they thought he wasn't ready, or maybe they were too focused on chasing another veteran piece. Meanwhile, the Thunder are sitting on a gold mine of young talent, and adding a guy like Jackson Davis is just another chess move in Sam Presti's master plan. Can you imagine that front-court rotation with Chet Holmgren and Jackson Davis sharing minutes? That's length, defense, and pure energy. The kind of pairing that could torment the Western Conference for years. It's not just a signing, it's a message. The Thunder are done waiting for the future. They're taking it now, piece by piece, from teams that used to dominate them. Inside sources, and I'm saying this with a big grain of salt, claim that Jackson Davis felt undervalued in Golden State. Apparently, there were several points during the offseason where he expected an extension talk, or at least a conversation about his long-term role, and it never came. Instead, he saw minutes fluctuate, rotations change without explanation, and veterans getting priority even when his performance demanded more. That frustration reportedly grew behind the scenes, especially as other young players around the league started locking in new deals. When Oklahoma City came knocking, offering not just a paycheck but a clear vision, it was like a light bulb moment. Imagine being a 23-year-old player, putting in the work, showing consistency, and still feeling invisible. For Jackson Davis, this wasn't just about money. It was about respect, opportunity, and a sense of belonging. The Warriors had every chance to keep him happy, but arrogance or indecision, maybe both, led to this. It's like watching a slow-motion car crash, one everyone saw coming but no one tried to stop. And the fan reaction? Pure chaos. Social media is exploding with mixed feelings, betrayal, disappointment, and disbelief all at once. Now, from Oklahoma City's perspective, this move is genius. The Thunder are quietly becoming one of the smartest, most disciplined organizations in the league. They don't just collect draft picks. They develop them, they polish them, they turn raw talent into real stars. Adding Jackson Davis is like finding another diamond in the rough. He fits perfectly into their defensive schemes, and his ability to run the floor, crash the boards, and set screen for guys like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Jalen Williams is going to make them even more dangerous. And let's not forget, this is a team already buzzing with young energy. Adding someone who's hungry to prove himself just amplifies that. The Thunder didn't just sign a player. They stole a piece from one of the most successful franchises of the past decade. They're showing that they can now compete, not just on the court, but in the front office wars too. For OKC fans, this is the kind of move that validates everything they've endured. The rebuilds, the patience, the heartbreak. For the rest of the league, it's a loud, clear signal. Underestimate the Thunder at your own risk. Meanwhile, back in San Francisco, the Warriors are scrambling for damage control. Reports suggest that the team was blindsided. They didn't expect Jackson Davis to actually walk. Some insiders say there was a last-minute attempt to counteroffer, but by that time, it was too late. The Thunder's proposal was already signed, sealed, and emotionally accepted. The fan base feels betrayed, sure, but deeper than that, there's a sense of confusion. How does a franchise that prides itself on player development let something like this happen? How do you lose a promising young big man to a rival that's literally climbing over you in the standings? It's not just about talent, it's about optics. This kind of move sends a bad message to other young players on the roster. It says, if you're looking for stability or growth, you might need to look elsewhere. And for an organization that's been trying to rebuild trust and relevance, this could sting for a long time. It's not just a personnel loss, it's a cultural one. And here's where things get really spicy. There are whispers that this could create a domino effect. Players in the Warriors' locker room are reportedly frustrated with the constant uncertainty surrounding roles, rotations, and future plans. Some are even questioning whether the front office has a real strategy or if they're just clinging to nostalgia. Losing Jackson Davis might not seem like a big deal on paper to outsiders, but internally, it's a morale hit. He was popular, well-liked, and had a work ethic that resonated with teammates. When guys like that leave, especially for another young contender, it sends ripples through the entire squad. The Thunder, on the other hand, are laughing their way into training camp. They just got stronger without losing anything significant, while the Warriors are left explaining how they let another young gem slip away. The vibe is shifting, the balance of power in the West is changing, and this move might be the spark that lights an entirely new era. The Warriors are no longer the hunters. They're the hunted, and the Thunder just prove they know exactly where to strike. Now, let's move into what this really means for the Thunder going forward, because this isn't just a roster upgrade. It's a strategic declaration. Oklahoma City is now officially out of the young and rebuilding label. They're in win now with youth mode, which is even scarier. Adding Tracy Jackson Davis gives them a level of depth they didn't have before. He brings rebounding toughness, interior scoring, and that underrated defensive IQ that's been missing when Chet Holmgren has to rest. This isn't a role player signing. It's a reinforcement of identity. With this move, the Thunder are telling the rest of the league that they're done being patient. Sam Presti is pushing his chips in, betting that the chemistry they've built can carry them deep into the playoffs. And honestly, it's believable. With SGA playing at an MVP level, Giddey orchestrating like a maestro, and Jalen Williams evolving into a two-way monster, adding Jackson Davis just solidifies the foundation. They're young, fearless, and suddenly very, very deep. This could be the kind of move that gets remembered as the final puzzle piece when we look back a year from now. But hold on, because the emotional undercurrent of this whole story is still brewing in Golden State. Warriors fans are heartbroken, confused, and, in some cases, furious. How did management allow a player who fit their culture so perfectly to just walk away? Some fans blame Steve Kerr's reliance on veterans. Others point fingers at Bob Myers' absence, saying the new regime doesn't understand how to balance loyalty with evolution. Whatever the reason, this loss hits differently. Jackson Davis wasn't just a stat line. He represented hope. He was the kind of player fans wanted to root for, a grinder who earned his minutes and played with heart. Now, seeing him in Thunder Blue is like watching a family member join a rival clan. It stings in a way numbers can't describe. For a team already struggling to keep its identity intact, this could deepen the cracks. Maybe this is what the end of an era feels like. Not a dramatic collapse, but a series of small, avoidable losses that pile up until the whole foundation starts to wobble. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Dubs updates. Let's keep going. And from Jackson Davis's perspective, this move is liberation. You can almost feel the weight lifting off his shoulders. He's going from a team that micromanaged every possession to one that thrives on freedom and creativity. The Thunder play fast, loose, and confident, a style that fits his athleticism perfectly. Expect to see him thrive in pick-and-roll situations, running the floor with Giddey or finishing lobs from SGA. He's not going to be buried behind veterans anymore. He's going to be unleashed. And make no mistake, this is his chance to prove a point. Every game against Golden State from now on will carry an extra layer of intensity. You can already imagine the headlines when he drops a double-double against his old team, the crowd in OKC going wild, while Warriors fans watch and regret. For Jackson Davis, this isn't just a career move. It's personal. It's a statement to everyone who doubted him, benched him, or overlooked him. Sometimes betrayal becomes motivation, and that's exactly what this feels like. Meanwhile, analysts around the league are starting to connect the dots. Could this be the first of several young Warriors deciding to explore their options elsewhere? Players talk, and the NBA is a small world. When one player finds success after leaving a system, others start to wonder what's possible for them too. The Warriors' strength in numbers mantra doesn't hit the same when those numbers keep walking out the door. And the Thunder? They're becoming the new destination for hungry, overlooked talent. Think about that. Just a few years ago, OKC was seen as a developmental pit stop. Now, it's a legitimate hotspot for ambitious players who want to grow and win. That's a complete 180 in perception. The league is shifting, and moves like this are proof. The Thunder are not just collecting assets. They're building a culture, the kind of thing Golden State once had. Ironically, it's the Warriors' old blueprint being executed by their successors. And somewhere deep down, that has to sting. By the time next season tips off, this story will still be echoing through the league. Tracy Jackson Davis's 4-year deal with the Thunder will be remembered as more than just a signing. It's a cultural moment. It's about a new team rising and an old power structure starting to crumble. The Warriors will try to spin it, to say it's just business, that they're focused on bigger goals. But the truth is, losing a player like this exposes cracks you can't ignore. Meanwhile, the Thunder are riding a wave of momentum that feels unstoppable. They've got youth, chemistry, and now another weapon in their arsenal. Jackson Davis may not be a superstar yet, but he embodies everything OKC stands for: energy, hunger, and belief. And that, right there, is what makes this story so captivating. It's not just about betrayal, it's about rebirth. The Warriors lost a piece of their soul, and the Thunder gained a spark that could ignite a dynasty of their own. This isn't the end. It's the beginning of a brand new chapter in NBA history. Stay updated exclusively with the latest Dub Nation news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep getting daily updates on the Warriors. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Your input is essential for the Dubs community. Stay tuned for the next video.